When it comes to anime live adaptations, my goodwill has been completely shattered and no longer afforded to be spent. I don't support race swaps, gender swaps, or sexual orientation swaps. I refuse to subsidize the bastardization of stories just so these activists can fulfill their selfish, desired, politically correct representation quotas with no attempt to be accurate, just opportunistic. I've seen that be the main destruction of so many beloved properties over the years, at first being tolerated, but one thing I've learned is that when you allow a little bit of it, eventually you will get a lot of it. It being whatever nonsense they want to push, with the latest victim to face this hijacking is Kakegurui. Kakegurui lands live adaptation at Netflix following the anime's global success, and already there's a red flag from the cast of actors they chosen, where an accurate portrayal isn't the goal or even close to it, but to fulfill, as I said, current politically correct quotas. As I mentioned before, activists don't create, but they take what's already been created, leech off of it, eventually destroying it. Hell, they're not even keeping the same title, but instead calling it bets, which is already disrespectful in my opinion. It's almost like a literal hijacking, utilizing the popularity of an established story and idea, giving themselves an excuse to retcon, and have no commitment to follow the source material. Best believe this is what they would love to do with all of anime. They can't stand that this medium is this popular, full of stories that don't fit their Western elitist activist view of diversity. You know, I wish more creators had the mindset of Miyazaki, someone who is extremely protective of his work, always maintaining its integrity, which leads to longevity, understanding the value of his creative control, but he is an OG. It says, Bet will most likely take place in America rather than Japan. It's likely that characters will have their names change. And that makes me ask, what is the fucking point of this then? Like seriously, as I said, my goodwill and benefit of the doubt is completely drained and empty nowadays, but I'll elaborate further on that later. But this goes to what I just said, wanting to use the popularity of something with no attempt to be faithful to the source, and it's just a money grab for these people. You know, I said before, I don't just enjoy anime for the Japanese art style, but enjoy diving into another culture. I love the Japanese setting, the environment, the architecture, the dojos, the fashion, even something little as sitting on floors, no chairs, bowing. All of these little things accumulate to a culture I'm unfamiliar with, and I love that. Even while I prefer Japanese subs, just a different language alone provides another layer of escapism. Plus, I think they're better. They just put a lot of passion into the voice acting that I just don't feel in English acting. Fans of the anime already appear skeptical of Netflix's attempt before much has really been revealed about the series. No, plenty has been revealed already. They literally changed the name of the series, Bet, which I can already see them including modern day lingo with that alone playing off the word. The cast reveal, at least attempt to have actors look like the characters in the anime. If you're going to make an American version, all of the skepticism really comes from pattern recognition, seeing so many other live adaptations beyond ruined in the past, and that goes beyond anime, but really anything adapted in the West nowadays. Currently, the top reply to the announcement post is anime fan base leader saying, "Cancel it, bruh." And it's not difficult to find others echoing that sentiment. Well, include me on that list. The safest bet, clever.
I understood that reference.
Given the casting and Netflix's own history, is that Bet would be a far more grounded high school drama, with the gambling elements present but less melodramatic. You know, you can tell these are opportunists and not fans. If that proves to be true, something that makes Kakegurui appealing is its wild, extreme exaggeration of the character's expression when gambling. It's meant to depict the feeling of ecstasy they have when taking the risk and winning a gamble. And really, that's what anime does so well, is to portray certain emotions, characteristics, and behaviors that I think is kind of beyond human. Even the expressions alone, I think it's a rare few that can actually pull that off. I mean, Jim Carrey is good at it, but even for him that might be difficult. And especially the sexual erotic humor this anime is filled with. I highly doubt that would make it past the politically correct filters set in place nowadays. Netflix Kakegurui live action could be a major departure from the manga.
Really?
You think? Now, I haven't read the manga, and I've just seen season 1, and we'll have to find time to watch season 2, maybe sometime this week, but I like this anime. And this goes to my constant compliments of anime and Japanese creators of how they just explore their imagination. Outside the action, the isekais, the slice of life, chill ones, romance, etc., is an anime story of characters in a school where you have to build rank of how well you can gamble. Like, that's kind of cool. Now, to my point earlier, I used to have goodwill and belief that when people were looking to adapt anime or a manga back in the day, they were truly looking to do that out of love and real appreciation of the art, because anime just wasn't nowhere near the popularity it is today, so there wasn't a quick money grab to be had, and I would have been cool with a character who's technically Japanese but has someone from Hollywood play them, but having to resemble them at least. Like, I remember rumors that Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to make a live action Akira, or Akira depending on how you want to pronounce it, and this was decades ago. And in my opinion, a DiCaprio in his prime, I'm talking Titanic DiCaprio, would have made a good Mitsuru. Like, he already played that rebellious adolescent in Basketball Diaries and This Boy's Life, and when DiCaprio works on something, he doesn't half-ass it, he goes all the way. I even think he would have made a good Yusuke, and you could even had a young Matt Dillon playing Kazuma. He already played a character being made fun of for being ugly in Entourage, so that's a fitting role. And at least they somewhat looked a part of these roles, where you can have an American version or sort of blend the two, like Ghost in the Shell, where Scarlett Johansson plays Major. At least she looks like her. With that, you can be somewhat ambiguous. And Akira takes place in a really run-down looking Japan. Gritty, dirty, trash everywhere, unstable. You could probably shoot that in America and design sets that resemble the scenery in the anime. It could be like Blade Runner, where there's Japanese lettering everywhere, advertisements, but it doesn't take place in Japan, or at least it's ambiguous in that way. But it's really not questioned, because the world we're presented with is believable and a natural fit. But even that is complicated, because I only want to see characters resemble the characters in the anime and take place in Japan. And I think current people who hold these positions in charge of the decision making are too full of themselves to do that. Another good example, if they ever made a Berserk adaptation back in the day, I would have thought a young Halle Berry in her prime would be perfect for Casca. She already had the short hair, just make it a bit more tailored, same smooth complexion, because I don't think it's made clear where she's from in the manga, just a poor village, unless I missed that. But I think Halle would have killed that role. And other rumors is that Keanu Reeves was going to play Spike Spiegel, which I think a young Keanu would have been great for. He had the same shaped head, tall, slender look, and I think the ending of John Wick 4, some say, was an homage to Cowboy Bebop, how they both died the same way on those church steps. All of these I would have at least given a chance, when there was goodwill with this conversation and attempts to do so. But with Death Note live action, where the main character didn't resemble Light, not tall, lean, didn't have that same poise, didn't give off that same demeanor, like, this reaction doesn't portray Light well. This looks like a scared boy in an expression that's not befitting of Light, at least in this part of the story. It's just bad casting. And L's choice. While I'm a fan of this actor, he did well in Atlanta, but again, like, what were they thinking? I feel like they were trying to troll me with this. I didn't grow up with Death Note being attached to the character of L I see in the anime, just to suspend my belief to have an actor play him that looks nothing like him. Like, no attempt at all. When I see him, I don't see L. I see someone who's imitating him, like a cosplayer at a convention. But someone who could probably play a good L on screen, at first thought, would be a young Jared Leto. I think he would make a good L. Put some mascara on him, because he's good at playing those weird and quirky characters. At least he could look like him, if you're going to make an American version, that is. Cowboy Bebop making Faye gay, like, what are you doing? That obviously goes against her backstory, but again, trying to fulfill that representation quota and have her acting in ways that's so out of character for her. Vicious, one of the coolest villains, calm, cool, collective, but they turned him into a damn man baby. Why would they destroy a character like that? And he doesn't look like Vicious. He doesn't look cool. John Cho, I like him, but he wouldn't be my first choice of Spike. The only accurate character in that show seemed to be Jet, and don't get me started with Edward. They canceled season 2, thankfully, before they were allowed to destroy their character any further from that one scene. But even in that scene, it's shown that anime is able to do things that human actors just can't, which is why I'm just cool off of live adaptations, even attempts to make American or other regional versions. Maybe, with the exception of Edge of Tomorrow, that movie actually genuinely surprised me of how good that was. I remember when the trailer released, I thought it was just another generic alien movie until I watched it with my brother at home, and we both thought, damn, that was actually really good. Like seriously, it was really good and highly slept on. Wishing we went to the theaters to see it, and then I learned it was adapted from a manga. While the story takes place in Japan in the manga, the movie took place in Britain, I think. Now that was back when people were still trying to make good movies, seeing the plot being a good idea and trying to build upon that, not looking for a quick cash grab because it's not the most popular manga versus Kakegurui is. So I'll admit, there is a little contradiction here due to my ignorance, but my ignorance shouldn't come before actual fans of that manga. But I am just way too cynical nowadays to afford any goodwill to any attempts of any current day adaptations. I've heard One Piece is good, but I'm still good on that. My brother surprisingly said he didn't enjoy it because his bar for what's considered tolerable isn't as high as mine. But even still, I just rather watch the anime. I'm not that naive kid anymore when I hear, oh, Leonardo wants to adapt Akira, that sounds pretty cool. When truthfully, there really is no desire for me to watch anything beyond the anime, because I don't watch it with the hope they'll make a live version. The anime itself is something I uniquely enjoy. It's a medium that is its own thing that doesn't need to be adapted, in my opinion. The Japanese signature art style is what makes it cool at its core, along with all the other extensions I mentioned earlier, stuff that seems damn near impossible to replicate in a live action. But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Like I said, I used to have goodwill towards these attempts at adaptations, where I wasn't so particular and anal about this stuff. Pause. Really, because there was no reason to. But nowadays, the intentions aren't even close to being the same. Where there used to be genuine love for the art, like how can we do our best to bring this to life? But now it's just, how can we use this for our streaming site and inject bullshit into it? Like I just heard Amazon got the rights to James Bond, and I know they'll just fuck that up, but whatever, tell me what you think. I know this might be a divisive topic. Some people are for adaptations and I'm just too cynical about it. But if you haven't already, check out my music on Spotify. If you love those Samurai Champloo lo-fi mellow boom bap vibes, then my music is definitely for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Free think. Peace.